All right, so here we're going to talk about catch cans and why we need them, and then I'm going to show you what I came up on this Dodge Challenger Hellcat engine, supercharged engine. Firstly, if you're even wondering what the heck's a catch can, we're going to describe that. But let's take a look at this. Let's pull the valve cover off, or not valve cover, sorry, just I guess a plastic cover for the actual rocker cover, which is right there. And then every engine's got a type of PCV valve system. So this engine in particular sucks all the vapors from the valve cover. It goes into the blower. Okay, so this blower provides vacuum here, so it's always sucking it out of the valve cover. It gets flung up in there, in through the rotors, flung up on the top of here, and then these vapors will pass some on this side and then some on the other side there. And what that is there's a cooling brick on each side. It cools the air, okay, and then the air is forced into the cylinder, but it has to pass the intake valve. So why is that important? When the air is coming in and it is coated with an oil mist, it will actually clog up these things here, the supercharger cooling bricks. It can clog them up, and as well, your intake valve is extremely hot. So what can happen is all the mist passing and hitting that valve is going to coke onto there, and then you have a bunch of carbon buildup. Lastly, what can also happen is you can get a reduction in the octane in your fuel. And how does that happen? Well, the oil mist that's coming in is actually diluting the, I guess if you want to call it pure fuel, or diluting your fuel that's coming in. So it actually lowers the octane. So if we take this off, we're just gonna snap it here. There we go. And we look in here, we can see, oh, and we see a little bit of oil. And a little bit of oil we can see there. Right there. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. That's a little bit of oil. That's from a day's driving. I wanted to do a test without the catch can, so that's from a day's driving. So not much, you might say. A little bit of oil, almost nothing. And that's about 50 kilometers or maybe about 30 miles. So really not much. But if you add that up over a number of years, it is a lot. So that's why we need a catch can, because we want to try to prevent oil buildup in the engine because it just gums everything up. Now, one thing I should note is this is a port injected engine. So what that means is on the side, you can see the here's a fuel rail here, and actually here's the injector. We got an injector, it's an 8-cylinder. So we got 4 on each side. Fuel is injected before the valve. So what that means is when the air is coming in and the fuel gets injected in there, it actually washes the valve. So it really helps keep this engine clean. However, a lot of newer vehicles, Audis, I'm going to be doing a new Z06 soon. I'll be showing you guys that. Those type of engines are direct inject engines, and what that means is the fuel doesn't come before the valve, it comes after the valve, so it's directed right into the cylinder, hence direct injection. And the problem with that is there's absolutely nothing washing the valves. So everything that comes in gets coated and the engines gets really dirty. If you just Google a walnut blasting for Audi or BMW, you'll know exactly what I mean. So let's get to it. Let's get to our catch can. Okay, so what I did is I rigged up, get this, a catch can. All right, and I'm gonna explain the adapters. Here's what they look like inside if you're thinking. This one's actually, I think, a company that went out of business. I think it was, I don't even know what it was called, but a very good one. It looks really good. So dirty air comes in the top, gets caught in all this, slows down, the oil drips out. You can actually see, look how wet it is. Drips into the bottom, and then it gets sucked out through the side, through there. I know this phone's not gonna hold, but anyway, you can kind of see up in there. It goes right up there on the side. So let's put the bottom back on this catch can and we'll see exactly how it's gonna be installed. Okay, so I just screwed the bottom on. That's all I basically did. So dirty line goes in, okay? Clean line goes out. And in case you were wondering, these fittings here, they're just what are they? AN8. So what an AN8 fitting means is you need to have a 1/2-inch hose. So let me explain what I did. These are just some fancy kind of connections, but it's just 1/2-inch braided hose here. And what I did, the ends, now you saw the factory, here's the factory one, here's a factory piece, okay? So these ends look very close to the factory piece, and you will not believe, this is a Chrysler product. It's Dodge, right? A Dodge Hellcat. These ones I had extra from 2014 Shelby GT500. So I had some extra ones where I was putting a catch can on that vehicle. So all I did, and you can see there's 1/2-inch hose. This is just some rubber here, just to put them together, and then they'll snap on. We just got to make sure it all fits. Yeah, this looks a little bad, but oh well. This one actually looks better. I was able to get one of these fittings on. This is just some plastic here, just some 1/2-inch plastic. There you go, rubber joint. You can see I can bend it, just a rubber joint, and that what it's going to do is it's going to clip on there. So remember how we said the blower side is a suction side, right? So if you think about it, it's going to suck through here, suck through there, and it's taking clean air from there. All right, now the dirty side comes right from the top of the valve cover. So this is going to snap on to the valve cover, and then we're going to attach that to the top. So let's do that. And there we go. I just snapped the fittings on. So you can see dirty side. This is where the dirty stuff comes in. Follow that right from the valve cover, right at the top. There's a clip there. And see, we can just push it on. There. It's on, nice and good. This one actually just popped right on. You can see there it is. I can move it back and forth. It won't come off. And actually you can see the little nib there that's holding it right there. So this is the clean side. We follow this. This is going to take it from the side. So now all I'm going to do to mount this in here is I'm going to just tie a string or something just so we can support it. It's actually away from the engine, which is kind of good because it'll cool better. So what that means is you'll get more vapors in here, whereas if it's hot, you don't as much. And then I'll just put a few rags in here, and then it just so it won't scratch anything. And just so you know, I've actually been running this for quite some time, and if I pull this out of here, you can see there's no marks or anything on my paint, nothing at all. So it hasn't marked it up or whatever. And then you can see how I can just pull it out just like that. Such a breeze to pull out. Put it back in, pull it out, and then all I do is just unscrew the bottom, and then I can empty it. Just like that. So it's actually really, really easy mod to do. And then obviously once the catch can's in, once it's in like this, and then you would just snap the cover on. So the cover would snap just like this, and there you go. So it actually looked like a really easy mod to do, and it looks great, and it really protects your engine. So yeah, that's my catch can mod for a Hellcat supercharged engine, 6.2 supercharged engine.